You've been waiting for the busy season to end, the kids to get a little older, the calendar to finally open up. And when it does, you're sure the exhaustion will finally lift. Unfortunately, it won't. Because here's what I've learned coaching ambitious working moms and being one myself. Time is almost never the real problem. Energy is, and those two things require completely different solutions. In the next several minutes, I'll show you why time management keeps failing you even when you execute it perfectly, the energy reframe that changes how you structure your entire day, and one adjustment you can make this week that lets you feel the difference immediately. Here's the belief most people carry into a Monday morning. If I just manage my time better, I'll finally get everything done. The right planner, the right system, block every minute, protect every hour, and eventually the list gets cleared. Completely understandable. Time is tangible. You can see it, divide it, assign it, and there's something deeply satisfying about that. And this instinct makes complete sense because you didn't invent it. We were all handed a culture that treats busyness as a badge and time management as the universal fix. You inherited this belief, which means you can also question it. Here's what actually happens. The people with the most optimized schedules are often still missing the work that matters most. The leaders with perfectly time-blocked mornings, filling those blocks with back-to-back meetings. The moms protecting afternoons to catch up on LinkedIn or Slack messages. The color-coded calendar doing everything it was designed to do, and still not enough. Because the list was never going to get cleared. What we want and need will always outpace available time. The honest response to that reality isn't a better system. It's strategic choosing. And even with strategic choosing, even once you've identified what matters, there's a lever most people aren't using. Here's where the real reframe lives. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. 1,440 minutes every day. Fixed, finite. We all have the same amount. The most beautifully designed calendar in the world doesn't change that number. Time is finite, full stop. Energy is different. It's renewable. It responds to how you spend it and how you recover it. One of the biggest invisible walls in coaching is that the only way to have more energy is to do less, and we all know that's not an option. So we never recharge. We keep pushing through on empty, wondering why the important things keep slipping. But the answer isn't doing less. It's doing the right things at the moment you're actually capable of doing them well. You have a peak window every day, a few hours when your brain is at its sharpest. Most people spend that window on email, back-to-back meetings, other people's urgent requests, and fire drills. Not because they're disorganized, because those things feel urgent, and clearing them gives you the satisfaction of progress while your best thinking quietly drains away. By the time you turn to the work that matters most, you're running on fumes, 3 times as long. Quality suffers. Try again tomorrow. Feels like a disaster. Think about the last time you had even a few hours that felt genuinely focused, where the work came more easily and you weren't watching the clock. That was energy working the way it's supposed to. It didn't feel like discipline. It felt like flow. The energy edge isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters at the moment you're actually capable of doing it well. Energy is renewable, time is not. You've been managing the wrong one. And here's what changes when you manage energy instead of time. You stop trying to protect hours and start protecting capacity. The calendar is the same. What you can do inside it is completely different. Knowing energy matters is different from knowing how to work with yours, specifically in your actual life. Years ago, I had chronic Lyme disease, was working full-time, and raising 3 busy young kids. Everything looked fine from the outside, but I was running on fumes on the inside. Lyme forced an energy strategy, no brute force available. I had to figure out when I had something to give, protect that window fiercely, and let everything else wait or let go of it. This experience didn't happen in a classroom. It was real life, real pressure, real stakes. Here's what I still do to this day, because this isn't something that I graduated from. I prioritize 7 to 8 hours of sleep most nights. And I know that's not fully in everyone's control. When it is, treat it as a foundation, not a luxury. Without sleep, focus drops, emotions are harder to manage, and the body craves sugar and carbs, which causes a spike and then a crash, the exact opposite of what you need. Most demanding work in the morning after a good night's sleep. My most demanding work is writing, planning, anything requiring focused thinking. Low priority, routine tasks get slotted into the afternoon when energy naturally dips. Same logic across the week. I front load my strategic work early and shift the admin to the days later in the week when I'm more naturally tired. I know not all moms get to recharge on the weekend. Sometimes they're more depleting than the actual workday. The point is that recovery has to be designed intentionally. It doesn't happen on its own. The alignment practice of energy to task demands is not a perfect morning routine. It's a commitment to treating your energy as a resource worth protecting. I didn't learn this in the classroom. I learned it because I had no choice, and it changed everything about how I show up. So where do you start? Not with 3 weeks of redesign. Instead, one adjustment this week that lets you feel the difference. Even if the last few days have all felt equally draining, there's usually been a window that's slightly less bad than the others. That's still useful data. Think back over the past week or two. When were you most focused? When were you most depleted? Those are data points, your peak window and your low point. That's your starting map. So look at next week's calendar. What's already slotted in during your peak window right now? If the answer is meetings and email, that's the misalignment. It's not a discipline problem. It's not a moral failure. It's a misalignment problem, and it's fixable. I know what you're thinking. School drop-off or camp drop-off, 7:45, 8 a.m. stand-up, boss messaging before coffee. My mornings aren't mine. That's real. I get it. But 2 things can be true at once. Knowing your peak gives you something to fight for. Even 45 minutes at peak window outperforms 2 hours depleted. If your mornings are locked, that's constraint data. Move one piece of high-value work into your peak window. For next week, protect it. If someone books over it, that's useful information too. It's telling you what the next problem to solve actually is. For example, communication and boundary setting. The starting map, your peak, your low, and one deliberate choice is where energy alignment begins. You don't need a new system. You need 1 week of giving your best work, your best hour, and seeing what happens. Here's what changes when you stop treating exhaustion as a time management problem and start treating it as an energy alignment problem. The self-blame lifts because you weren't failing at discipline. You were solving the wrong problem. You were trying to organize minutes instead of protect energy. Those require different strategies. You stop mistaking staying busy for making progress because you know the difference now. One depletes, one builds. And you start making real progress on the work that actually matters because it finally gets your best hours instead of whatever's left at 4 p.m. For the working moms I coach, that shift changes how they feel about their careers. It changes what they believe is possible. It changes how they walk through the door at the end of the day, which is the part that ultimately matters. They have something left for their family. Here's the hard truth. If you keep waiting for more time, 6 months from now, you'll have the same exhaustion, the strategic work will still be on the list, and the project that would have gotten you noticed still won't be done. Or you could make one adjustment this week and start building from there. Same hours, completely different results. If you're ready to go deeper on this, to actually map your energy, identify what's draining it, and build a daily structure that works with your biology instead of against it, the next step is the Power Hour system. It's free inside my community, Ambitious and Well, for ambitious working moms. Take the energy reframe you just learned and turn it into a daily practice that reclaims one focused hour every day for your own growth and well-being. The link is in the description. I'll see you there.